Yeah. I want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. Let's get it. Just sit back and let it breathe. We coming with more heat. You only get one shot. You shady or maybe not. You capping, we laughing. We on a mission. Now listen, we making statements and stating some of opinions and some of fact. So sit back and just relax. All the bull don't get no slack. We bringing it back to back with a swag and a class act. It's levels to this, and the truth will show who your friends are. That hate you won't get far. So be great. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Tori Sadell.
And we back with another video. We want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. We back, y'all. I hope y'all loving the scenery.
Hey.
You know, we just bringing something new to y'all, man. You know, we got to switch it up every now and then. But we're going to get right into it, man, because we have a great one today, man. And we just want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all see the title. We're going to get right into it. Being friends with the opposite sex is more comfortable than being in a relationship. Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it.
Let's go. What you got for me?
Man, why is the question that I have.
Okay.
Why do it seem like when you're friends with the opposite sex, you have a man, you have a woman, they're friends, and that's just all it is. Let's start there. All it is they're just they are friends.
They're just friends.
Just friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like with the conversations, with the just feeling comfortable to talk about anything, not worrying about you judging me, not worrying about how you gonna look at me or who you gonna tell. People care less about who you gonna tell, or they seem like they, in a lot of cases, it seemed to be in society, especially in 2024, where people put more trust in their friends, especially starting with the opposite sex, than they will their own partner. How do Tori feel about that?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
Why?
That's a good question. And why is, like, dude, you got me thinking, because at the end of the day, the same information you probably give your friend, they could turn around and use it against you. Like you say, oh, anytime a relationship ends, you done talk so much to them, they know all your details, they might use it against you. Well, same as in a friendship. So I don't get that part. But at the end of the day, you don't expect a friendship to break up, ever. It's like when you're looking in a relationship, you sometimes expect it to break up, so you kind of hold back on what you tell that person just in case y'all don't make it, but you don't look at a friendship the same way. You know what I'm saying? But man, it bothers me, man, sometimes. But like you say, you take sex out the situation. You know, sex complicates everything. But if you just truly friends, you just feel comfortable and comfortable to say whatever, but without the thinking that, hey, one day this friendship might end. But when you get in a relationship, it seems like you preparing yourself for, let me not give it all to them, and and scared of, might one day this might end and they might use something you done told them to kind of hurt you or something.
It's very interesting that you brought up sex, and it goes. I'm going to ask the question again, why? And the reason why I asked the question again, why? Because it's like, I understand how powerful sex can be. We know the outcome. We know the vibe, the energy, whatever you want to call it. That comes with that. But why do that have to be the thing that you are married or in a relationship where y'all are having sexual intercourse, and that changed the whole dynamic of the trust or the feeling comfortable, not just the feeling. See, I could just say, well, why does it change the feeling? That's pretty easy to answer that question. Yeah. But I want to throw something out there of, like, we're just feeling comfortable. Like, you feeling more comfortable with your, let's say you a woman, people that's watching this, you feel more comfortable telling a guy that you known for years something personal, or when you mad about something, or just having that, you able to have that conversation more consistent than you do your own partner. Yeah, that seems to be kind of messed up. How you feel about it?
And it's crazy though, because just say I never ever cross that line with any of my opposite
But
sex.
we talk
Never
about just
cross the line.
overall.
So, but if you do, soon as you do, everything changed. I don't understand it. If we were just good to talk about everything before we got into a relationship,
let's talk about
why is it now that we in a relationship? Now you holding back and now we can't talk. But I really think, sometimes it's the fear of an argument, or you got to deal in it all the time. But I don't get it, because we were just comfortable before we got into this relationship to tell each other every freaking thing. But I don't know. That's bug for me though.
But bro, don't friends argue? Don't friends, whether you the opposite sex or not, don't friends argue? Don't friends share that disagreement? Don't friends share that anger? They share that I ain't talking to you no more. They share that we mad at each other.
Point.
I mean, you in my feelings because you didn't return my call. Like friends do that too.
Why
is it so? But still, it's a separation of the comfortability of, you seem to be more friends with somebody who you wasn't in a relationship with than your own partner. It should seem like we are more friends. Like the best friend that I've ever had is the person that I am actually with. Let that breathe for the two people in the back that might be asleep.
Man, and you said something like friendships, they argue, they get into
same
fights
thing.
and whatever and spats, and they could see that it's cool. They'll come right back together like ain't nothing happened. But for your partner, you tend to, I'm gonna just go talk to my other friend instead of talking to your partner about things. Nah, we need to do better in that, like, cause it's crazy.
It seemed to be so different because of the sexual intercourse. It seemed to be so different where it's like, we able to go out to eat. We able to like, even when y'all both, you and for people watching it, you have two individuals that were friends before they was in a relationship. It seemed, to be so different just because it was nothing physical, whether it was kissing, whether it was sex, because those I left out of, and they were just friends. It's like just friends. We get along so much better when it's just friends. But then when it's a relationship where feelings involved, what they say, emotions make you cry sometimes. Like people really be in their feelings.
As friends, again, why? Because you be connected as friends. The same feelings apply. I mean, you might not be sleeping with that person, but when a close friend cross you, you feel that hurts. The same as in a relationship, but you can come back in that friendship than more so your relationship. But you'll have a open conversation with your friend. But if it let it be your relationship, you sometimes don't need, a person might not even know it's a real issue because you telling somebody else about it, then talking to that person you dealing with.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. That's a real good question, and we gonna need y'all to help us out in the comments about that, because I have no answer for that.
Man, we gonna move on to the next one, man. Can friends interfere with you and your partner? I want y'all to think about that. Like, I think it depends. I'm gonna start with that. I think it depends on the maturity. I think it depends on the honesty, and I think it depends on the respect. Because with those three categories, it's very important. You got to be mature to be able to know when to even cut a friend off if you have to, if it calls for that. Because some friends you have to cut off because they was disrespectful or they, are destroying your relationship. I'm just giving you different scenarios, because obviously me and you are friends and that won't ever happen. But when you dealing with different people that have experience with what I'm talking about, somewhere down the line, the disrespect creeped in. Somewhere down the line, the maturity left or was never there and they thought it was there. Somewhere down the line where you wasn't honest with your friend, and I'm going to tie you right in a minute, when it come down to your supposed to be private relationship.
And that's exactly what
you letting friends in at times when you shouldn't be letting them in.
Yeah.
So how you feel about that?
And like you say, man, I was going with it. Some things a friend shouldn't be privileged to know, because at the end of the day, it's you and that person's relationship. Some things y'all just need to buckle down, work it out together. And sometimes when you tell that friend some things that's going on in your relationship, now that friend has some kind of feeling towards you that you probably done got over, and now they feel like they could actually come in your relationship and have some kind of place in your relationship because you done made them feel comfortable with the things you done told them. So, but me personally, I'm not that type of friend. Don't come to me if you don't want to hear the truth, because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And I had a friend that did me the same way, and I hope all my friends continue to do me the same way. If I ever, say, man, let me come and quote unquote vent to my friends, and my friends will tell me quick, hey, you need to go home and fix that. And I'm telling you the honest truth, what done happened to me before. So it's like, what can I do? Why you telling me your problems? You need to go home and fix that. And I respect those friends that tell me that more than anything. Then, man, let's go out and ball, or man, damn, or F that relationship. Let's go, man. You can find another. No, tell me, sit me down and actually say, is things as worse as I'm making it, or do I want to hear you pacify me? But at the end of the day, friends can make it worse, but they shouldn't have the right to make it work if you weren't running and telling them your business in the first place.
Right, man. You got to know the difference. You got to know, I remember you said in one of the episodes, know your friends. You got to know, especially if you have multiple friends, know your friends and know what they're capable of, and know what each one is capable of. And I think a lot of times too, people, they get to the point where they depend so much on what outsiders say, whether it's friends or family members say about your relationship, more than how you and the person that you're laying next to think or feel. Because at the end of the day, you still going back to the person that you laying your head next to, whether it's bad or over or just going through just your moments or whatever the case may be. You still going back to them just to not talk to them, but talk to the person that you're not going to even be spending time with. So of course you getting along with these friends, of course, and that kind of makes sense to what we were just talking about in our last point. Of course it's easier to be comfortable around this person who you venting to, because you don't have to deal with them on a daily living with them.
Exactly.
And we I'm gonna tell you right back in this, we both know that when you live with a person, it's way different than it is when you don't live with them.
Yeah.
There's people who people work with on their job and they vent to them. And it seemed like so much of, I can talk to this person about anything. You ain't sleeping with this person.
Again, that's exactly what I was
I'm going to tie you right in on that, because I can go in for an hour on that one.
I was just finna say that. It's cool and dandy with talking to your friend about somebody else. It's cool and dandy talking to your friends about your relationship when it ain't about them. But try talking to your friend about something they did and see how that turns out.
See how that go.
See how that turns out. It's easier when you're not talking to that person about something wrong they did, but soon as you do, they're going to have some kind of rebuttal or anything of that nature. Just the same as you talking to your spouse. Maybe they might have a rebuttal at the first beginning, but then they start to hear you out and start to make sense. And then y'all come into some kind of common ground and fixing or trying to work on a problem and solving a problem. But you got to come to that person first. While you go to your friends, they're going to give you comfort and all that. But as soon as you start talking to your friend about them, it's not going to be the same, and it ain't going to sit right. You're going to probably have an argument. So why not talk to your spouse the same way? The
same way, man. And before we move to our next point, I just want to say, man, it seemed like it only makes sense to do that with somebody that is supposed to be your partner, somebody that you just with. I would hope that we just saying, and I get it in life. People do so many scenarios. We do. You see so many different situations where people just there.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna even get into that, but it's like, why make it so harder or so different because this person, you're not going through what you're going through with your partner with them. The same way, like you say, you can talk to that person. That's what's hurting a lot of the relationships, is that conversations is not being had because they're talking to everybody else but who the person they need to be talking with.
And it's easy, and I'm going to say this before we go to another subject. It's easy, like I say, talking to somebody about somebody else. But say I'm guilty of it. That's why we can talk about this. So I done said some things, and I'll tell you what my brother here done told me before. Have you told that person how you feel? Have you told that person? So what good am I? You coming to me telling me, have you talked to that person about whatever it is that you have some kind of discretion with? So
Yeah. That's real, man. We're going to move on to the next one, man. A true friend will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Oh, man, I'm gonna let you start that one off. How you feel about that, man? We're going to tie right into that.
I said something about in our last segment about it. Again, I'm the type of friend that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. This ain't no fairy tale. This life thing ain't no fairy tale. In relationships, it's not easy. It takes work from both parties. So I had a friend that called me maybe a few weeks ago, and his situation was he knew he made his bed. You know what I'm saying? He was doing wrong. Now that a person is starting to do the same energy or matching energy as he was, I say, bro, you got to eat that. You have to eat that, but you have to show a different way. You have to act. You get that person that space. The same way they let you go on, now they moving different. You have to eat that sometimes and give that person the same kind of patience that they had with you, because it was your bed that you admitted to me. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just one of those things. I'm never going to just let you say, oh, look how that person is doing. Bro, what was you doing all this time? This person was sitting back just eating your stuff. So,
yeah. Man, you can't worry about how mad your friend going to be. You can't worry about how they going to respond. A lot of times I think we get in situations where we'll be friends with somebody and we start doubting our opinion. We start doubting, the things that is needed to be said to them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't doubt yourself when you know it's the truth. Now, if you're not sure it's the truth, then you probably don't need to speak on it. But don't doubt yourself when you know, hey, my friend need to hear this.
Yeah.
A lot of times we too busy trying to tickle each other fancy, and we trying to put a smile on each other's face to the point that we'll allow our friend to be led to a dead end. You know they going down the wrong road. You know they it's for to turn out bad for them.
Anything else, like you say, brother, oh, y'all be talking about free this person. Where was y'all, if y'all truly they friends, before they committed this stuff that got them in the jam? Yeah. Talk to that person. Don't sit back and let it go. Hey, man, you don't need to be shooting up this or doing this or doing that. Same way, you don't need to be seeing these cheating and mistreating that person or that person. You know
men ain't gonna do that. Men ain't gonna be real and just be
why?
Like, a lot of men do that, man. I see that a lot of men ain't gonna do it, and to a certain extent, it's like I just rather not I'd rather not know, because it's like you have people that are adults and they feel like I'm grown. Don't tell me. Well, that's when you have to question yourself and just say, okay, what type of time you on? Because if I'm a believer that I'm not with a situation, no matter what it is, not just cheating, anything, if I'm not with it, then I need to stand on that, hey, I'm not with it. Exactly. What you do is your business. I think what a lot of men mess up is because this is your boy and you trying to keep that guy code, that stupid mess that they have going on, instead of just keeping it real, where it's like it goes to that maturity that I was talking about too, and it just being honest and just really, we talking about telling your friend what you need to know. A lot of guys don't do that, and not just guys, women do that too. They don't tell their friend what because it's so much of enjoyment you want to have out of your friend, instead of just a real dialogue where you can sit down and talk about what's needed to be talked. Like, we all can go hang out and have a guy's night out or a woman night out, but when do it ever come a time where it's gonna be an ouch? And anybody know from the old school, an ouch is when you be in church and the preacher or somebody say something and it kind of like make you be like, that hit me, but it helped you.
Yeah.
So sometimes things that your friends will say, look at if it's helping you, even though it hurt. There'll be times that I don't want to hear certain things. There'll be times with my close family member, I don't want to hear, when it's the truth. But my main thing, and it comes to maturity again, if it's going to help me, I get over that being upset or feeling funny real quick if it's going to help me. Now, if it's going to hurt me, you wasting your time, brother.
Yeah.
So just look at if a person is wasting their time on what they saying. And if they're not, and if it's positive, and if it's something good and it's soothing for you, then why not take that as value? because I'm hoping that you look at yourself as a valuable person. If not, then you'll still be with the BS of just doing the same thing that you're doing
and crying about it.
Yeah, man.
So
We're gonna get right into the next one, man. Why is it easier to talk to your friends than your partner? I think we kind of touched on that a little bit, but I want to close out on that because, again, let's get to the root of it. Where did it go wrong? Oh, let me ask that question. Where did it go wrong when you and your partner stopped being able to talk to each other? Or I'm gonna ask you, have y'all ever truly felt comfortable talking with each other about anything? Or was it a front?
Wow.
Let that breathe.
Wow.
We got to start keeping it real from the beginning.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to keep it real from the beginning. Whatever it is that stopped it or never made you feel comfortable to start with, you need to put that and address that right up front. You need to really be honest with yourself. First, we have to be honest with ourselves. And I'm no professional in relationship, but it's just common sense that I'm speaking right now from my heart. You got to really put things on Front Street. Like, listen, babe, this is how I feel. Like, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't like this that you do this. Or I don't feel like I can talk to you. Or you know, when I try to be honest with you, you're going to yell. You're going to curse me out. You're going to put hands on me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you're going to bring that up or you're going to use that against me. Whatever it is that y'all need to talk about, conversations is always a thing that's hindering us, whether we in a relationship or not.
It's always that communication.
Communication, man.
And honestly, because I'm guilty of it, you know what I'm saying? And
Me too, man.
And me and mine had to definitely work and write stuff down and let's do better, giving each other safe spaces, you know, as we try to have conversation that one or the other might not like. But at the end of the day, I feel like all relationships, when it comes to communication, at least, because it's always going to be work in relationships.
Right.
Always going to be work, no matter how long. But as long as you with a person, say you with a person 5 years, the conversation should be easier for you to have than when you first met them. You know what I'm saying? If you practice on keeping that same energy, and it should be easier to open up because you, first of all, you know this person, if they have an issue with you, it ain't coming from no ill place. It's coming because, hey, we need to address this. I'm not your enemy.
Right.
I'm not your enemy, so we shouldn't turn it into an argument. We should listen to each other and then say, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way, or not sorry you feel that way. I didn't know I was making you feel that way. I try to do better. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Everything don't take argument. And every time we have in communication, it's not an argument. And if you are talking to somebody that everything turned into an argument, and when you're trying to communicate, then it's something up with that. That's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Honestly. So
it's definitely something wrong with that, man. If I can't talk to you, then what are we in it for? We just in it for the either financial, the physical, or whatever it is that is going to be something that's going to make us feel good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like relationship is just about making each other feel good.
What?
Your biggest strength, your biggest push in each other can be that thing that make each other uncomfortable. But it's positive with that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
It's something positive that's going to push you to be greater. But you can't get that greatness if you just being fake with each other, even with friends, even with just friends. You can't, how can y'all strive for greatness or strive to improve in life when you too busy just trying to make each other feel good?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, medicine that's nasty. It don't taste good at all. Like,
but
we all have been there.
Out.
You know, there's different things. Like, people who say, I'm going to school, man. I finna go, I want to, you know, in business, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. You taking a test and you know, seeing how hard it is, sleepless nights, and you stand up having to study, it don't feel good doing that. But when you get to that end result, that end results is what make you feel like, man, I know it was worth it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people don't even want, they don't have the patience to get to the end result because they too busy worrying about things just fast and what about what's going on right now. So I'm not feeling good. You're not making me. You're not putting a smile on my face. You're not spending on me. Or you not doing the things that you did when we first got together. Well, one of the things that we never did was communicated the way you was communicating with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
You was able to vent to your friends when you go to work. You vent to your friends easy.
Yeah.
When we should have established a long time ago in the very beginning that if I'm pissed off with you, you can come to me, and it ain't gonna feel good. I'm gonna be mad as hell. But guess what? We have that comfortable relationship that we can do that.
Yeah.
Where did we go wrong, or did we ever have that?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And again, like you say, hey man, you need a relationship if you're in a relationship as that was your friend. Everybody like to throw that term, my person, that's my person. Really be each other persons. And I understand, like, it took work for me and mine because I done went and talked to my partners before. My wife done went and talked to her homegirl before. But we all is still working to be each other's person. I'm the one I want you to come to when it's a problem. No matter how I don't want to hear something, come to me. I want you to come to me, and I want to feel like I could come to you. And we all just need to work on becoming that, being each other persons. If you're in a relationship and you can't be each other person, what are you in a relationship for?
Right.
That's just the bottom line.
That's real.
So,
and we about to wrap it up soon. We got like a few minutes. And again, you venting to all these people. And I'm not going to say that anybody that's a close friend, a true friend that's telling you the truth and telling you what you need to hear, that it won't work. But a lot of people, including myself, in the past or even now, have vent to people. I'm going to ask you a question. Where did it get you? I know that hurt. Where did it get you? Now, again, there are some cases that it might have helped you. It might have given you some pointers that you didn't see, like, you know what? I need to do better. That's a different. But when you're in a situation where you just venting because you mad, where's the help?
Yeah.
Where's the improvement on your relationship where it's like this is what your friend is telling you is helping you?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to try to force it and make it seem like, well, no, I tell my friend and they give me good advice, but y'all still for years doing the same thing. Now, either you're not taking their advice or their advice is not working.
And one thing, like you say, we all have friends that we do vent to, and I don't see as much of a problem with talking to your friends. But if your spouse don't know the problem, there's where the problems lie. Like, you telling your friends about a problem but not telling your spouse, then what you venting to? So how can I solve whatever's wrong? Because you chose to go over here instead of talking to me about the problem. So that's why okay, everybody got friends that it's easier to talk to, but if I don't know the problem, or why are you venting to your friends and not the person you call your person?
Yeah. It seems like it gets to a point that you got to think, and I'm going to end on this, think how your partner would feel, whether you're a man or a woman. Think how your partner would feel. Like, man, you seem more comfortable with your friend, like especially if it's the opposite sex. You seem more friendly or understanding or quick to vent to them than the person that's supposed to be your lover, the person that's supposed to be your soulmate. Well, I can't talk to you. Well, if you can't talk to me, or if I can't talk to you, then why are we with each other? Why are we with a person that we can't talk to? That don't make no sense. That's like talking to a brick wall. I don't think any of us who are in our right mind are just going to go and just start talking to a brick wall. So if you can't talk to each other, then you need to really think about that, man. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Taurus Adele.
We want y'all to hit that like. We want y'all to comment, subscribe.
And please share.
On
all social media platforms.
Yes, man. We got more on the way. Hey, real soon, man. we got guests coming. We got everything lined up, and we just want y'all to stay tuned. And like we always say, till next time. Peace.